let's get into this thing and make this community buzz. Okay. All right. Our live for this week is, if she's making more money, does the leadership dynamic shift? Now, we're going to get into something a little deep this evening, and if you guys can hear me okay, that's good. But we're going to get a little deep, and I'm looking forward to it. So put on your big boy, your big girl panties. We're about to jump in. Okay, both feet first. All right, here's a question though. Generally, men have always made more money than women, but if she's making more, which I welcome, if she's making more than he, does the leadership shift? Is the leadership tied to the income? And I'm going to start with this statement. The question isn't whether the leadership shifts. The question is, was he actually leading before she got the raise? Was he actually in leadership before? Because if he was in leadership before the income increase, then he should be after. Or if she was in leadership and you guys have agreed that that's how you're going to roll, cool. I'm not here to tell you how to run your family. I'm here to tell you when you screw up, but I'm not here to tell you what rules to make within reason, okay? But that's the hard truth. When someone questions that leadership has shifted, the biggest question that I have is, well, was the person who was the presumed leader actually in leadership in the first place? I want to let that marinate for a second. You see, the economy has changed. If you've been watching the news lately, you know that the economy has shifted. Things are not the same anymore. I mean, traditional income patterns have pretty much, just gone out the window. It's flipped for millions of households, and studies consistently show that women out earn their male partners by getting every 1 in 3 marriages. Okay, for every 1 in 3 marriages, women are out earning their male partners. So this isn't a fringe anymore for a woman to take the financial income leadership. I'm going to put it that way. It's somebody's real life. This is someone's real life story. And for those of you all who are on the first time, I want you to know, please ask your questions, text them in. We will answer them in real time. I'm warning you, no holds barred. So ask away, and we're gonna jump right into it. But so most couples really skip this when it comes to this issue. You see, when she earns more, and then he pulls back, and everybody says, "Oh, you letting her shine? You letting her shine?" You go, "Yes." Whatever that is. Okay, but you're letting her shine because he's stepping back. It's bad. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. What's happening in that particular situation is that there are feelings underneath, hey Louise, that no one is addressing. There's his insecurity. There's her overcompensation. There are a lot of things, because when he pulls back, that's not being noble. That's abdicating. That's giving up his position. And there's always a problem. Or if it's the other way around, and he's earning more, and now she's the silent partner, she's giving up her position. Sunshine. So that's a problem. You see, and for women, earning more, y'all hear me, earning more than your husband is not a license for you to manage him. Marinate. It's not a license for you to manage him. Because the moment you start leading him and treating him like he's an employee, you've changed the relationship. Yep, you've completely changed the relationship. And he feels it. And you wonder why, the intimacy is dried up and the bank account went up and the bedroom went silent. Yeah, there's a connection there. All right, question. Elizabeth, I've lived that. and he didn't want to know anything about the finances. He ran out of the room when I tried to address it. Hence, that one of the many reasons we're divorced. Now, good. Thank you for sharing that, Elizabeth. Here's one thing that's interesting here. Remember the earlier question I asked? If the leadership shifts when you make more money, the question isn't whether or not it shifted, but was he leading in the first place? And it seems, Elizabeth, I don't know all your whole story, but it seems that the dynamic in your relationship was that you were in leadership. Yeah, you can chime in and let me know that you were in leadership and he knew that. Now, I don't know the dude from Adam's house cat. I wouldn't know him if he came and kicked me in the shin. But one thing I do know, okay, is that when a man pulls back, doesn't want to hear it, he has given up. He has given up leadership, and for some reason, I don't know what the reason is, he has given up leadership, he's given up his worth, and he does not want to participate. He wants to sit back and ride. And if that was the case, well then, I see why you were divorced. Here's the big thing. Does making more money equal being the leader? Does that mean you are the leader because you make more money? And because that's a myth we're dealing with here, that whoever earns more leads more. Whoever brings home the bacon gets to own the pig. No. Money in does not equal authority out. The bank account is not the organizational chart. I need you to get this. Because the truth here is that leadership was never, has never, and will never be about income. Leadership is never about income. It's always about maturity. It's always about maturity and your ability to step up and make the tough decisions. When we talk about MAPS, we talk the first acronym, the first word in the acronym MAPS is maturity. Maturity, accountability, pursuit, and surrender. And when it comes to leadership in the home, it's all about maturity. I don't care if you make a McDonald's cashier salary and she makes a professor at Emory salary. Doesn't make a difference. I guess professors don't make that much. If she makes an anesthesiologist salary, the fact is, whoever the person is who has the most maturity is the one who's going to naturally step into leadership. Okay, here's a comment. Leah says, agreed, not about income, especially from a spiritual perspective. You're absolutely right. From a spiritual perspective, we want to go spiritual, it's a whole different ballgame because income is simply fuel. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But here's the danger, because I want to get back to Elizabeth real quick. When he shrinks, as in your situation, you then resent. And I've seen situations where he shrinks, she resents, and you call it peace. That is not peace. Passive withdrawal is not humility. It's giving up in disguise. That's right. She earns the income, he carries the vision. That's how it's supposed to be. I have no problem with my wife earning more income than me. If she wants to do that, God bless her. She carries the income, I carry the vision. All right? Both hold the marriage. Roles can be flexible, but identity is not. I want to say that again. Roles can be flexible, but identity is not. Yeah. Of course, Elizabeth. He says marriage is too much work. I don't know the brother, and if anybody who out there knows me, you know that I'm going to be an armor bearer for the men. I'm going to stand up for men. But when any man says that marriage is too much work, that means you don't want to get off your tail. I'm sorry. It means you don't want to get off your butt and do what's necessary to make things happen. We do not have the luxury of not working in our marriage. We don't have that luxury. We don't have the luxury to sit down and let things just flow. No. Everybody, and I'm going to quote this person, I never quoted him, probably never will again. Steve Harvey made, and I ain't got no hate for Steve, but Steve Harvey made this quote, said this once. He said, life is like, not a box of chocolates. Life is like a wagon going up a hill, okay? And the family are the people surrounding the wagon. Now, ideally, here's the way, and I'm going to add to his analogy. Ideally, everybody needs to have one foot in the wagon and one foot out, where you're pushing it and you're maintaining it. But what happens quite often is that some people just jump in the wagon and everybody else push. While other people, some people just lagging behind, holding onto the back of the wagon while everybody else pulling them up. But ideally, everyone is to be in and one leg out, pushing it up. Now, it's very, very rough, and it decides what's possible. That's what money does. I'll get down and determine what is your identity. How do you identify yourself in the marriage? When I got married to Wendy, forgive me, please. Next Tuesday, I will be back in the States. We'll have this. I'm actually in Colombia right now. But yeah, next year week I'll be back in the States. So I apologize. This will be on demand though. So it's not. So the thing is, Leah said the same is happening for you. I assume that your husband is the lead, and you've determined that. The one thing you have to determine also is that if he is the leader, find your place. What does that mean for you? See, a man who checks out because the woman earns more was never a leader to begin with. He was never a leader. You see, real leadership is not threatened by anyone's success. It's activated by it. Real leadership does not say, hey, look, you're making more money, I feel bad. You're making more money, my self-esteem is damaged. No, if your identity was sitting in your paycheck, that's a different problem. But you must determine what your identity you must determine what your identity is and where it is. And that's not something your husband can do for you. It's not something your wife can do for you. It's something that you have to determine for yourself. Because a lot of people come into marriage incredibly insecure. We come into marriage not knowing who the hell we are. And I said that, right? I didn't use a vegetarian word. We come into a marriage not knowing who the hell we are. If you are a leader and you have leadership ability, own that. If you want your husband to be a leader, own that. If you are a leader and you're looking for a man who can accept you as leader, then own that. Leah says, I'm not married to my boyfriend yet and I make more, but have talks about finances. Absolutely. And that's smart. You should not only have talks about it, but if you're planning to get married, you should start. Don't wait until you get married to have those strong conversations and making plans before you say I do. If you're already engaged and you're betrothed and you plan on walking down that aisle with him, start building now. You ain't gotta have both your names and stuff. No, don't do nothing joint right now, but have your plan. Okay? Elizabeth says, so I have wasted 30 years of my life that I can't get back. Correct? Are you still married? Elizabeth, you can answer that. Are you still married to this guy? I'm assuming you don't. You're not. You said, he did leave you. He left, rather. I'm not saying he left you. He left himself. Okay, fine. So you have wasted 30. No, that is absolutely not true. That is absolutely not true. How do you feel you've wasted? No. First of all, you've lived 30 years. Praise God. You've lived 30 years. Secondly, you've experienced for those 30 years. There is no such thing as failure. It's all about lessons. You've learned in those 30 years. And the lessons you've learned, Elizabeth, maybe you have been put in that situation so you can help somebody else or lead somebody else. Okay? Try dating at 66 years old. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it's easy because it probably ain't. But I'm here to tell you. The 66 ain't dead. I'm telling you, 66 ain't dead. And there's just some real realities you're going to have to own up to. I'm serious. There's some real realities because the market is crazy out there. All right? And here's one reality that you're going to have to own up to. If you're 66 and dating, consider your demographic. Consider your demographic. If you're 66 and dating, look at your own financial wealth. Look at yourself physically, what you have to bring to the table, what you have to offer. Look at the market that you're marketing yourself to, okay? And consider your demographic. It may be that you need to go higher. If you're 66, look at 70, 75. I'm sorry. Sometimes we when we get older, we want to go younger. That don't always work. All right, that's a whole different thing. We're going to have a matchmaking part to maps, and Elizabeth, I want you to be a part of it, okay? Because trust me when I say, I know men. I know an incredible gentleman. I'll be at his birthday next week. Incredible gentleman. He's turning 90 next week. Been married for a number of years now, but he got married again in his 80s, and he ain't nobody's cripple. He ain't walking. This joker walks, builds. Man, so don't sleep on older men. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Okay, Irma. Some people find their best love at an older age. Absolutely. Wendy and I were very blessed to match a couple a couple years ago because we do matchmaking. We matched a couple years ago, and he was 65 at that time. And she was 53. Yes. That he wasn't a dead 65, and she wasn't looking for 43. They knew their identity. And when they connected, age didn't mean nothing. Are y'all feeling me? My mother got remarried at 72 after my father died. So please, don't count yourself out. We're going off subject now, but I need you all to get this. When you count yourself out, first of all, the first person who hears that is you. The second people who hear that is anyone that you might be interested in. They see it. They see that you're down on yourself. Change that crap quick. Okay? Some people find their best love at older age. Wow. Okay, most guys are looking for a nurse or a purse. Okay, all right. Never heard that, but okay, let's deal with it. My mom is a witness to find love again in her 70s. Yes, it can happen. Trust me, it can happen. It's just that at that age, you're looking for the income gap. It's when she starts parenting him instead of partnering him. And I've seen that so many times when the wife starts parenting because she's connected money to leadership. And quite often we see that in our society. It's exemplified on TV. And black women, if you're black women, I'm going to give y'all a little, Jesus help me. I'm going to give y'all a little something. Look, black women, I know y'all strong. I know y'all powerful. I know y'all been through hell and back. I know you're riding now. I get it. Do not, I repeat, do not live in that boss attitude to the point where it drives everybody away. I heard one actress who's single, and she said this. She said, I'm single, and I think she's in her 50s now, because I ain't trying to deal with nobody's wounded son. Because everybody I met is somebody's wounded son. To that person, I would say, consider the common denominator. And that's you. Maybe everybody is not someone's wounded son. Maybe that's the lens that you're viewing through. And you might have to recheck and see why you're thinking that way. And why you may be discounting people who are worthy of love and who could give you what you need, but you're seeing everything through that tainted lens. All right? Okay. Last point. You do not split leadership. You distribute it. It's important for you to get this. Leadership does not split. It's distributed. She may lead financially, but he might lead logistically. Spiritual leadership lives in the person with the most maturity at the moment. And that title usually rotates. That's what healthy looks like. So leadership is not split, it's distributed. Okay? So even though you might have financial leadership, that does not mean you have logistics leadership in the home. It does not mean you have leadership over the decisions that are made. It simply means in that area, you might have more money, more power. But remember, money is just fuel. Okay? It only shows you what's possible that you both can accomplish. All right. Elizabeth says, does location make a difference? You got to give me a little bit more on that, sweetheart. I don't know what you mean, does location. As far as where you live and where he lives, et cetera, et cetera. As far as being matched, does location make a difference? Because we're going to be doing, yes. No. We're starting a nationwide database. I'm in Colombia now, and we're connecting with people in Colombia also. I've already connected with an organization here. And we're going to try to do some things also to increase everyone's opportunity to find the person they love. Okay? We'll talk to you more about that at another time, though. All right. Lastly, in a great marriage, nobody keeps score. Nobody keeps score, but somebody is always keeping watch. No one keeps score, but somebody is always keeping watch. And the person who's keeping watch is not the earner. That's the most mature person in the room. Be that person. That's the person who's keeping watch. The most mature person in the room. Take turns being that person. Take turns being the mature person. Take turns being the leader in your marriage. Okay? I hope you get it. All right. Elizabeth, do me a big favor, hon. I want you to go into the app, send me a message on the front page. It says post. You can post me a message. You can look me up. You can send me a message inside the app and give me your questions, and I will be more than happy to answer them when we get ready to unlock and launch our matchmaking. All right? God bless you guys. I hope you got it. Next week, we're going to come back and gearing up to have some guests in May. All right? So I hope you got it tonight, and I hope this was a blessing to you. Bless your hearts. So glad to be with you guys. Can't wait to see you next week. I'll be back in the States, and hopefully we get rid of all this freezing up here. Okay? God bless you guys. Love you, and y'all have a good night.